This video is kindly sponsored by PCBWay. Thank you, PCBWay.
Hello ladies, welcome back. Today I'm trying something different, which is kind of a not live stream. So I'm not cutting this video as I usually do, and so this is uncut. And we are taking a look at this fancy box here. Let me switch over because I'm not cutting. You can see how I switch over. This one comes from Individual Computers in Germany, or icomp.de/shop. And this is, if you're a regular on the channel, you have already seen this package and I've already teased this. This is a yellow cartridge for the C64, and it's called the Turbo Chameleon. I think it's Turbo Chameleon 2 actually. Let me check. Oh, it's just a Turbo Chameleon. And it's the most recent version. And as you can see, this looks pretty packed. So what we are going to do today is, and this is a multi-part series. And then today we're going to take a look at the cartridge itself, and we will plug it into the C64. We'll go into the menu. There's a menu, yeah, as there often is. And I will talk a little bit about this second box, which is an option for this. And we will take a closer look at the second box in a different video. So this is an SD card, which wasn't in here before. So when it came, it was just this cartridge. Let me zoom in a little. And as you can see, it has quite some stuff attached to it, or it has quite some stuff inside of it, and that just sticks out. We have a VGA out, which is, well, what it says, a VGA out. You can plug a VGA monitor in here and it gives you VGA from a C64. We will see that in a bit. We have the classic 3 buttons which you have on Kung Fu Flash and all the other cartridges, which is, if I'm not mistaken, this is the standard reset. This is the cartridge reset or function button. And this is the cartridge menu button. We have 2 LEDs, and we will go into what these LEDs do in a minute. We have 2 cutouts for even more LEDs. On this side we have an audio out, stereo audio out, because, well, this thing has SID emulation inside. There's a little slot here which is covered by this black stuff, which is plastic actually. You can see in my cut versions of the videos you have less M and R's and M's and thinking and wrong words. So yeah, that is how I'm uncut. This gives you, I think it's Ethernet. So you can plug in an Ethernet cable here. This is an option which you can plug on the cartridge. And on the other side we have 2 USB ports. And I have to look up what these are for. We have what seems to be PS2 keyboard and mouse. Not in that, I think that's keyboard and that's mouse. And a third PS2 socket for, I have to look this up. And we have a cartridge, and this is a standard C64 cartridge. And we have an SD card slot where you plug a full-size SD card, and that is, in my opinion, the weakest point on this cartridge is this SD card, because it took me hours, literally hours, maybe even days, to find one that actually works in here. Some work to some extent, but then you get menu glitches and stuff like that. Stuff doesn't load. This is almost perfect. And it is the cheapest ass card I could find. It's from a drugstore actually, and it's a drugstore brand, DM Paradies. DM is a drugstore chain in Germany. And it's an SDHC 10. And yeah, that seems to work. And I tried at least 15 cards which didn't. So all the micro SD cards with the adapters pretty much don't work. I tried different full-size SD cards, no dice. Yeah, so that's a bit unfortunate, but it is what it is. Let's take a look. I have my C64 plugged in here. We zoom out a little. And I have my phone up here, so I have to do the grip to actually zoom in and out. Yeah, so let's plug this in. C64 is running. It's a standard C64, which has, I think, a Dolphin DOS inside. So if I switch this off, and there's a switch on the back here, and if I switch this, what do we get? Let's see. Yeah, it's Dolphin DOS 2.0, but we are not using this. Instead, we are going to switch back to normal operation and plugging this in here. And this fits perfectly into the slot. It doesn't cover anything back here, so lots of room. And yeah, let's power this up with just the cartridge inside and let's see what happens. Yeah, there was a lot of stuff going on there. And then we are in the Turbo Chameleon menu. And that brings us to, what the hell is this yellow cartridge? Well, let me say it like this. It's a lot. And it aims to be a lot, and it actually is a lot. Let's just go through the menu and I can show you what it actually can do as a cartridge. And then I show you what in this magic second box is and what it can do if it's not a cartridge, because it's much more than just a cartridge. So as a C64 cartridge, you have a file browser. And this pretty much is a cycle accurate C64 disk drive, or multiple disk drives. I think up to 4 or so, or 2, not sure. We will come to that menu point in a bit and then you can see. It can also load cartridges like the Easy Flash, so you can put in a cartridge, and if it detects a cartridge, let's just take one, let's say we take the FX cartridge, then you have 4 cartridge slots where you can actually put this as a cartridge and use it as a cartridge. Let's go back. You can use PRGs, you can use the one folder here. You can use disks, D64. You can use, man, it's a bit clunky because I have to use the, I have to use a joystick. Let's use a joystick, why not? The cursor keys. You have an integrated SID player. So this thing pretty much takes any kind of file you throw at it, except for tab files, which it just puts out and you can see them in the monitor. You have an integrated assembly monitor or machine language monitor. Not sure if that works. Yeah, it works. Okay, so D is disassemble monitor. No idea how to get out of here, to be honest. Let's. Yeah, nothing works. Okay, so I really have to power cycle the machine. Sorry, I'm unprepared for this, as always. And there you can see the bootloader. And if you have a SD card that doesn't work, it's generally stuck on the yellow screen on startup. You can do reset with cartridge. And then you just go out and you have a cartridge in here now. Not sure which one is, that was just a reset key. Which one is Okay, we have none attached, but that would be if you have like a freezer cartridge. You could do a reset with cartridge and then push the middle button, the white button, and then it would start the cartridge. You can launch a core, and we will save that for the next video. And then you have options, and there are quite some options. You have turbo settings, so you can, that is where the turbo comes in, put this to different speeds, like no limit, which is a pretty fast C64, 2 MHz, 3 MHz, 4 MHz, 5 MHz, 6 MHz, 75%. You can also slow it down. Not sure what that means. Turbo IEC sensitivity on, no idea. That might be for the floppy drive. So if the floppy drive is trying to communicate, it will slow down the machine. So let's switch turbo off for now. You have drive settings, and you have two drives which you can put stuff on here. You have the IEC bus connection, which is now internal because it's emulating the files. You can disable the original IEC bus or serial bus on this. Then you have cartridge settings, which is the different types of cartridges that you can load in here. You have a clock port, which is not used right now, I think. You have an REU, so the RAM expansion unit, yes, that's the one that runs Sonic and stuff like that. And you can go up to 16 megabytes, which is crazy for a C64. And you can also have GeoRAM, which is the RAM that's used by GEOS, and which you can use as some kind of virtual hard disk, which stays in RAM even if you reboot. You can use a PS2 mouse. You have an IR receiver, which works with a CD-TV remote, which I don't have because I'm an idiot. You have VGA out in different solutions or resolutions. You have miscellaneous emulation settings, which come into play on VGA output, for example, for the VIC2, and SID emulation if you want that, and CIA emulation if you want that, because this cartridge is indeed a complete C64. So that might sound a bit strange, but you can unplug this cartridge, you can put power over USB here, connect a PS2 keyboard and a VGA out, and you still have a working C64 without the C64. Because there it is. That's what I would cut normally, the this instead of this, because I really have to focus on the. Because this has an FPGA inside, and you can load different cores for different machines. So this cartridge can not only be a C64, it could also be a Spectrum or an Atari or whatever you like. And that is where this second box comes into play, which I will show you in a bit. We have a real-time clock, as you can see right now. It's 24th of September, 14:22, 14 o'clock. Yeah, I should really cut that, but I don't. 2:22 is the time. We have boot settings, boot from SD card, stuff like that, copy ROMs from C64. So that increases the speed of the C64 a bit, and it uses the ROMs that are actually in here. You have button settings for these buttons on the cartridge here. Menu and browser settings is for the menu that you're just seeing here, and you can write these settings down. So let's try VGA out. And for that we go and connect VGA. and we connect the audio cable to the proper audio out on the side, and we remove the standard video cable and we switch it on. And then I have to switch inputs here. Let me see if this actually works. We have no image at all, or do we? Yeah, that's probably my capture device not working properly again. Do we get an image? No, we don't. Do we? No, we don't. C64's on. Ah, I have an image here, but I don't have an image here, so that is my capture device again. Thank you, capture device, for nothing. Just a sec. Yeah, there it is. So now we have VGA out, and that looks a lot cleaner than the standard C64 output. Menu is the same, all is the same. Yeah, and by the way, you can start the cartridges by just pushing 1, 2, 3, or 4, and you can start the different FPGA cores, 16 slots from A to P. So here's the launch core, and you can see the only other core in here. This is the standard core, which loads on boot right now. The only other core in here is a Chameleon 2 hardware test. Yeah, so that is VGA. Let's go and let's start something up. Like, I don't know, let's use this one, Cauldron demo. So this loads up. And now it's mounted as a regular disk. Starts up. And then it should run, hopefully. Yeah, it's a bit too silent. Okay. I have no idea if acceleration would have an effect on this, but we could try. I'm pretty sure it wouldn't change anything, but let's try. Let's reset. That brings us to basic, and if we push the black button, we get into the file browser menu. Now we go to options, go to turbo settings, on, and say no limit. And then we go to file browser and start this again. Not sure if it actually works now. Didn't test that. Let's quickly take a look at today's sponsor, PCBWay. And I thought I'd make it a bit more interesting and show when PCBWay sponsors these videos, I show you a project on the shared project website which actually has some relevance for you. So like this Amiga pregnant mouse 3-button version, which is the UX version, and I try to print this actually on my 3D printer myself, which is not a resin printer but a standard, well, you can see it in the background there, Creality whatever printer. Yeah, it doesn't look too great. And PCBWay offers high quality prints, and I have shown these in some of my videos and actually used the print service myself, and it's really top-notch quality. And yeah, this actually can be used as a replacement case for your existing mouse. or as a laser mouse, which there's a PCB on the GitHub page, and you can use this laser PCB inside this mouse, and you can pretty much print your own and produce your own Amiga pregnant laser mouse. So if that is interesting to you, go to PCBWay.com and search for Amiga pregnant mouse 3-button, or use the link in the description below. So there are different parts here. We have a bottom shell, original shell, ball lock. These you only need for the ball mouse, and this is for the laser variant. So you have 3 parts to print. Yeah, back to the video. Doesn't look like it. Let's reset out of here. Let's try maybe a different program. What could we use? So on games and stuff like that, it's mostly that you have a so-called game loop, and on modern games you try to optimize for frames per second. And if you do a game and you want to have it run at a specific frame rate, that is, so a specific number of frames per second, you do a game loop and you loop through all the screen updates and program updates internally, and you have a specific time that is a second, and you count how much time it took to cycle through one of the updates, which should be 1/60th of a second. And if it's not, if it's less, then you go and you pretty much pause so that you get a stable 60 frames per second, for example, update cycle and frame rate. And back in the day, most games didn't have that because it was just one machine, and you could pretty much know how long an instruction takes on the CPU, and so you didn't need these very specific game cycles where time is stopped or time is counted and subtracted or paused to get the specific frame rate. And so some games actually have the ability to run faster because they rely on how long something takes inside a processor. And if you speed up the processor, the whole game speeds up. I have no idea which of the games here is actually made like this. Probably Elite would be one of those, because Elite always try to maximize the number of screen updates, because it was slow, and yeah, it was using up pretty much all the time it could. So I have no idea what to use here. What could be interesting? Let's try Outrun, maybe that works. Yeah, I think that runs faster than it normally would. How do we start this? Select music by steering, yeah. Okay. Yeah, that is ridiculously fast, as you can see, for Outrun. So here we have the turbo mode. Wow, that is crazy fast. It's almost unplayable. For me, as an ex-fighter pilot, no, I'm not. It's not a problem. I think this game got even more playable by increasing the speed. Interestingly, time is still running correctly, I think, on the top right corner. Oh, and now it's glitching out. Oh, no. It's the end. Okay, nice. Okay, I think I never made it to first place. So now let's see how this looks if we are not in turbo mode. Not sure. Ah, okay. You can see. Yeah, that looks much different. Oh, does it? Now I'm not that sure that it's actually accelerated. It looked so fast, but now it's... I'm not sure if it was accelerated, actually. But that was crazy fast for a C64 game. I don't know. Yeah, so if you want to have a real fast C64, the Turbo Chameleon is the right thing. There are other cartridges that do cycle accurate 1541 emulation. But this has the whole package. It has the REU, the GeoRAM, the floppy emulation, the turbo speeds. So this is pretty much the all-in-one package. And you only need this, and you have VGA out and stereo audio sits and stuff like that. So you pretty much only need this cartridge and a joystick and your C64, and you're good to go. And you have a complete set of all the things you could ever want from a C64. If you plug in the optional network adapter, you even have internet or BBS access over Wi-Fi, or no, I think it's not Wi-Fi. It's just a cable, Ethernet cable. That is that. Now let's take a look inside this box. And by the way, if you have questions about the Turbo Chameleon or things you want to see on this, the nice thing is I can always do a second and third and fourth part. So let me know what you want to see on this, and if you have anything that would make sense to show in terms of REU, we can of course take a look. Let me just check. Not sure if I have that on here. Do I have that on here? Yeah, I have Sonic on here. So that uses the REU, and right now I think I have the REU and Super Mario Bros. Let's see if Sonic actually works, which needs an REU to function. And it does tell you if it doesn't work, so yeah, that works. Fast load. Read the manual. No, we want to play the game. Yeah, that is. Yeah, so for me, I sold all my other cartridges which I had, including the REU. I had this, what was the name again? This newer REU, the Raspberry Pi. I sold my SD to IEC, which was a crazy idea because you can use the SD to IEC on a C16 and on a +4 and a VIC-20, but not this Turbo Chameleon. That only works on the C64, so not great. but Easy Flash 3 completely replaced by this here. No, we don't want to. Yeah, so Sonic works, which needs an REU, if you didn't know, RAM expansion unit. If you haven't seen my interview with Mr. Sid, I highly recommend that. He's talking about how he made Sonic. It's somewhere on YouTube. Maybe I will link it in the description. It's just a great port of the game. But my version is always, or will always be, the Master Drive version, or the Genesis version, because that was the game that came, I think, with my Master System. Not Master System, Mega Drive, sorry, Mega Drive or Genesis, because I saw Sonic and I wanted a Mega Drive, and I somehow got one. That is that. Now let's take a closer look. It's really in here. How this can be turned into a C64, because all we need is something to power this, and you can use it like this and just use VGA and your audio cable, and you need some kind of power. I'm not sure which of the ports actually is for power. Let me quickly check. Yeah, so you get 4 joystick ports over this connector here in the middle. Or you can use this for MIDI out. Not quite sure. As I said, I'm unprepared as always. I know this is about the docking station, which I have here. This one here. So you can see here that this connector right here is for data, and I think this is for uploading the firmware updates and stuff like that, and this is for power. So if we connect this to power, we should see, do I have one of these cables around? Let me check. Of course I don't. Yeah, that is typical for me. I'm prepared to the max. I will grab one in a second. Maybe I have one here in my cable box. I will grab one. Yeah, you need one of these older style USB cables to connect this. Let's do that now. I think I never tried that without the C64, so, well, here goes nothing. Does it light up? I don't know. Ah, now it lights up. Blinky, blinky. Not much is happening here. It's just blinking away. Okay, maybe my USB hub here is too weak to actually do this. So we need a power adapter. Let me quickly check if I'm not doing anything stupid here. To power it, okay, it needs 2.5 watts, 5 volts, and Okay, let's grab a PS2 keyboard, which I have here, and that connects to where? To somewhere. I think it is this one here. This is the crappiest PS2 keyboard you can find anywhere. So, engage. It's blinking. Still just blinking. No, doesn't want to work. I did not try that yet, so let's unplug this and let's try if it still works in the C64, because it would be really shitty if not. Oh, did it work? And wait, I think it's just the OSCC that switched to a different channel. Let me try again. Maybe I should give it some power. Or does it? Nopester. No. Sometimes it looks like it's synced and then it isn't. Okay, so that for some reason does not work. Not sure what the reason is, but I will take it for now. Okay, let's switch over to this right here. That is the docking station for this. And this goes in here like this and transforms this into a, well, I'm not sure what I should call this. It's a piece of wood with a PCB which has 4 joystick ports, 2 MIDI ports, which are, I think, unused right now. You can attach an Amiga 500 keyboard here. You can use this with a mini mic, and you have different options for this. And it says here you have 4 joystick ports, 1 C64 keyboard connector, that is the one in front here, the longer one, 1 Amiga keyboard connector, and MIDI in and out connectors. So this is pretty much used if you use this in standalone mode. Let's try. Maybe it needed the docking station to work. And that looks, I think, different. Do we get an image? No, it's still blinking away. So I think I'm missing something here. Or am I? Yeah, it syncs and then it doesn't. You can see it on my OSCC. You can see it on my OSCC down there, which has a display. Doesn't start up. I don't know why. Because I thought it would. Maybe it's just... okay. I'm an idiot. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It was just not plugged in properly. Oh. should reset it or something. Something happened here. Okay, now it doesn't work again. What the? Not sure what's going on. Let's unplug it. Okay, now it's synced. Do we see something on the screen? No, we don't. Do we? I think I just have a black screen here. Okay, now it's blinking again. Seems to be very flaky on the VGA connector here. Yeah, that doesn't seem to be correct. I don't get it. Now it's synced again, but still no image. Not happy. What is going on here? Yeah, it's just a black screen, and I'm pretty sure this power bank is pretty much enough to power this, because I'm using this for my MacBook, so that should actually work. Yeah, I don't know. Let me screw this connector in here. Now this connector is very, very wobbly here in the cartridge. Maybe this is already broken. Let's try one more time, and then we move this to the second video, because this is not cool. I get a sync signal. And then a black screen. That's not good. So something's not the way it should be. And I'm pretty sure for once it's not me. Okay, so works great as a cartridge for now. I think there's something wrong with the cartridge itself. So maybe we just open it and take a peek inside. It's just one screw, so screw it. Okay, not funny. Let's see, which one do we need? Is it? Yeah, it is. Let's put this to the side. So this will set you back quite a bit, because it's 200 and something euros, I think, without the docking station. Okay, so here we are. And the wobbliness. Let's take it out of here. That's this black thing. It looks okay. I think it's sorted incorrectly. It's just flexing on the pins here. Yeah, so that's what this looks like from the inside. Little lithium iron battery. 3 buttons. SD card slot. I think the network adapter plugs on here. Yeah, so I'm really not sure why it doesn't work the way it's supposed to. This thing here is rolling up. Not that easy to reassemble. Okay, there we have it. Yeah, no idea why it doesn't work with the docking station. I have to read into this, but I think it should work out of the box without any problems, which it just not does. Which it just not does. Okay, now this is all messed up. Great. Let's see if this still works. Yeah, still works. Okay. So it's not dead, that's good. And I have to read into how to freaking use this docking station. Because it's a bit like a Mister, not quite as powerful, but you can load cores on here and stuff like that, and we will do this. And check it out correctly. But for now, this is the Turbo Chameleon on the C64. Let me switch over to my beautiful face. Tired face, I might say. Yeah, so if you want to see anything on this Turbo Chameleon and oops, check for reset and check for some turbo features, REU features, stuff like that, things that only run on real hardware. Yeah, let's try it. I have it here. I paid for it by myself. It set me back. Let me quickly check what I paid for this. I paid the ICOM website is painfully slow, at least where I am right now. Commodore. Yeah, let me switch over to the desktop. Hope we can see that now. Now we can see me in here. It's infinity. And we go here. Yeah, Turbo Chameleon C64 version 2. I paid $235.44 for this. And this is the old version. And it says in cartridge mode you can switch between PAL-G and NTSC, and PAL-N, which is the Dreen, the Argentinian Dreen version. And Standalone can emulate PAL-G or NTSC. VGA out, 60 Hz or 50 Hz. Turbo function, which remains full compatibility with the 6510. Even the illegal opcodes. First turbo card for the C64 that does not use an incompatible 16-bit processor, but a 6510 compatible processor. It's even faster than the SuperCPU, which this can quite emulate or even increase on the speed. 16 megs of REU, 1750 compatible, GRAM, 4 megs, SD card slot, full 1541 emulation. We have PS2 keyboard and mouse, freezer. Yeah, you can use Action Replay, Retro Replay, KCS, Power Cartridge, Final Cartridge 3, Expert Cartridge, Super Snapshot 5, and Capture cartridge emulations for 8 and 16K, EPROMs, Super Games, Epix Fast Load, all the classic cartridges that there are for the C64, real-time clock, infrared for the CTV, internal RRNet2 or RRNet3 for the MK3 network card, which can be bought separately. I don't know if that is... No, it's not on the sides here. USB connection for PC data transfer and updates and cross-debugging, which is interesting if you are a programmer and you want to program on real hardware or test on real hardware. You can actually use Turbo Chameleon for debugging. Yeah. And there is, of course, let me show you. If you can see the network adapter. A few weeks later, this website is so slow. And it's not my connection, by the way. There's a docking station. There's the network adapter, which plugs. Is this the one that plugs into the Chameleon? I'm not sure. Yeah, I think that is the network adapter which plugs into the Chameleon. 10 megabit Ethernet. And here's the docking station, where you can connect real keyboards, 4 joysticks, and have MIDI in and out. And you can connect a Minimic cable. Yeah, so I think that concludes this video. Let me switch to my face. That's not my face. Yeah, I think that concludes this video. So I thank you for watching. And as I said, if you have any ideas on what to do with this, the Turbo Chameleon that is, let me know in the comments and I will make a video with your requests. And we will of course take a look at the FPGA stuff if I get my Chameleon running without the C64 and with the docking station. You don't need this, by the way, to run it individual without the C64. You can just use the cartridge. But this is a neater way, I think. So yeah, as I said, thank you for watching and thank you for watching, and until next time.
Thanks again to PCBWay for sponsoring this video. If you need any PCBs, pre-assembled PCBs or 3D printing, please use the link in the description below.
Thank you for watching. Retro is the new black. If you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe. If you like the video, please share. Every like, share, and comment helps a lot. Until next time, bye-bye.